Today we're going to be looking at the Panzer 58 Mutz, the Tier 8 German premium medium tank, which is kind of a premium tank for the Leopard 1 line, and I think this tank here is going to do a better job of being a Leopard 1 line premium than it did before now, because it now has an extra 10 alpha damage per shot, which surprisingly you can actually feel. I really didn't think that would make much of a difference whenever I first saw that change, but you can actually feel that. Also, it now has 90 penetration on its HE rounds, which is a lot better than it was before. It used to be 45. Its accuracy, its aiming time, I believe, were improved, and the view range went up by 10. So that means that now I get up to 438 meters view range just using cored optics and not having any view range skills currently trained on the crew. So this tank here seems like a lot better package than it was before. However, would I say this thing is one of the best here at premium mediums? Probably not, because, well, this is a thing. This thing here is a bit of a monster. I haven't done a video on this thing yet, really need to, because this thing is one of the most potent tier 8 premiums in my opinion. Like, this tank is a very, very powerful little tank, but today's video is going to be on the Panzer 58. Now, one quick thing I want to just mention here just at the very start, the reason why there's been so few videos the reason why there's been like no videos for like the last 5 days is purely because I've been pacing myself on how much I've been playing the game, because I'm well aware that the next Frontlines episode is coming out soon, and I do not want to burn myself out before it comes out, because, well, it had to happen last time the Frontlines episodes came out, where the TS5 grind was literally like the week before the Frontlines episode came out. There was like a 1 day gap between them, and I remember the awful realization of that there, just thinking like, oh no, I just did so much grinding for the TS5 and now I have more grinding to do. And I just remember my heart just sank whenever I saw that there. I was just like, well, this is gonna suck, and it did. I made a lot of credits and I made a lot of progress, but it was fun some games, but a lot of the games it was just awful. Because I was burned out and I didn't really want to just play flat out, but I kinda had to, just in order to make the progress that I needed. So yeah, it was just one of those things where in hindsight I wish I hadn't did that. I probably would have been better just playing less during the TS5 time, and then making it up later. Oh well, then playing more during the Frontlines mode, because the Frontlines mode, I really want to get that unique tier 9, whatever the hell it's going to be. Because I'm really curious to see what they're going to introduce as the tier 9 special vehicle that's going to be out for the Frontlines mode. Because who knows what it's going to be. A lot of people are speculating it's going to be the Object Treble 7, but well, that tank's been mentioned multiple times to be coming into the game. I'm not sure if it's any more likely coming into the game this time than the previous times. I think it's been mentioned 3 or 4 times. One time, people thought it was going to be the replacement for the IS. Well, people thought it would be the tier 10 for the T10 line. Then it was going to be a Clan Wars reward tank. Then I think it was going to be a personal mission tank. People have had so many assumptions where they're going to introduce that vehicle that I'm not sure this time is going to be any more likely than the previous times. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly they introduce. And there's a bad shot. Damn it, my ping can't screwed me there, because it took a wee while longer than expected to actually get the gun turned around to point at these guys. And there's an Indian Panzer. Didn't really expect that guy to be there. Hopefully I'll be able to ping some shots into these guys. Be nice to get some damage into this. Actually, that reminds me. There's a tier 8 premium heavy tank that's based on a T-54E1. It looks like a T-54E1, but it's not a T-54E1. It's such a weird vehicle. I saw it a leak of it on the Armored Patrol, and I just looked at it and just went, that's not an autoloader, but it looks like it's an autoloader. It's such a weird looking vehicle. And yeah, my ping is kind of screwing me a little bit here. Having 300 ping whenever you're trying to lead shots is not exactly consistent. But yeah, that premium heavy tank that's basically like an M48 pattern hull, but at tier 8 instead of being a tier 10. It's such a weird thing to see, because I never really thought they would introduce something like that. And I shouldn't have spammed that shot off as quickly as I did. That was dumb. The guy sat there for like a second after I fired that shot. Somebody poke out, come on. The MX-30 is just kind of sitting there. I think he's firing shots towards the mouse, and my gun's just trolling me now. This is not great. And T-103, which is I think is what was spotting these guys, has died, which is bad news. Sorry if this gameplay seems kind of static. It's just like when it comes to vehicles like this here, and just a Leopard 1 line in general, your main priority is to avoiding getting shot if at all possible. Like taking the occasional little hit is not too much of a big deal, but taking big hits in any shape or form is something you want to avoid if at all possible. Because you just do not have the armor to take hits, and your health goes really quickly if you're not careful. It'd be nice for that bat shot to die, but unfortunately it didn't. Score T50 has died, and well, the WoT Panzer 100 at least managed to kill the 6 TP that was leading the charge. My visual on this guy. No, I think he's behind the big rock. See, I'm kind of tempted to head up over here and see if I can get shots into these guys here who are way off in the background. That T-44 is way off in the background back there. What was that was spotted over there? Was that... I think that was a Foch. Really don't want to get into that thing's line of fire if I can possibly help it. Foch will turn me to pieces. MX-30 has died. T-44 that was below has died, interestingly. Oh shit, spotted. My reaction to people was really slow there. That was pretty horrific. Probably shouldn't have taken that damage, honestly. So the Foch is... Right, so, okay, so he's in a mound way off in the background there. T-41 is coming forward again. And you can see like the shell speed on this thing was improved, and I want to get below your gun as quickly as possible. You're an autoloader. It's dangerous to move across here, but I feel like I have to just to avoid getting just creamed by that T-41. Object 416. Interesting tank to move forward in. I guess he's probably just trying to make something happen here, trying to like help out his T-41, because well, not much has been happening here for a while for these guys on the enemy team. And the Object 416 I think has just about managed to get outside my line of fire. And surprisingly that mouse going to the middle, I was expecting him to die once he went there, but he didn't. Got the kill on the bat shot as well. No, I just tend to be careful here and not get killed by the Foch. The Foch is still over there. I didn't really think he would move very far, and come on. I hate when that happens, when you're just a little bit too far over and you can't move your tank up the hill because it's just a wee bit too over the rough ground. Oh wow, it hit him and didn't kill him. Come on. Don't do that. I mean, nearly on 2,000 damage though, actually, in a tier 10 game. And honestly, I usually do pretty terribly on this map. Like, this map is not a strong map for me. But this hasn't been too bad. And I think... No, I don't really think I fired too many just blind shots in this game. I fired, like, I think one blind shot, but I don't... What? Oh, the mouse just fell off the cliff. I was like, how the hell did the mouse die? But yeah, like the mouse just like drove off the cliff and died because of that. But this tank here, as far as like support mediums go, like this thing here seems to be a relatively decent one. Now when it comes to support mediums in general, like premium support mediums, I would still say like the M4 Rev is probably the best overall, purely because it has a 105mm gun with very fast shell speed and 200 penetration, which is not bad considering the shell speed and stuff that it gets. But you can see that this thing here, its accuracy, it's not bad at all. Like, I feel like the majority of those shots that I missed in that game were down to me either being slow on the trigger or my just internet connection being a bit slow. So that wasn't not a bad game there for a tier 10 match. Kind of counteracts that previous game which I had all up on the channel where I was top tier and that weird moment with the WZ-121 FT happened. But it seems like an okay vehicle. I wouldn't recommend this tank, but then again, when it comes to German premium mediums, there aren't really that many you would recommend if you think about it, because, well, let's see, if I add this thing to comparison, like what options are there for the Germans? Like, I mean, there's the Panther 88, which is pretty much known as being like one of the worst tier premiums in the game. Then there's the Panzer 58. That's it. So it really comes down to your personal preference when it comes down to it, doesn't it? I suppose you could go for something like a Panther M10 or Panzer IV small term or the Panzer 5.4 or the Panzer IV Hydrostat, but when it comes to tiered premium mediums for the Germans, there aren't really that many options, and like this thing here, I would say is the better of the two. However, I wonder if they're going to do a rework of the E50M line, because if they do, I would be very curious to see what they do with the Panther 88. If they made that thing play more like the E50M, I think that tank could actually be pretty solid. Like having like a fast firing 88mm gun on a relatively mobile and actually decently armored Panther would be good, because like right now the Panther 88 weirdly has worse frontal armor than this. It has better side armor, but both tanks have crap side armor, both have useless side armor, and the turret, it's equally crap on both of them. So if the Panther 88 got a bit faster and got a bit more hull armor and left with a still pretty worthless turret, I think it could actually be an interesting vehicle. I have no idea if they would ever do something like that. Probably not, if I had to guess, but I think it would be a very interesting tier premium if they were to change it in some shape or form like that, like make it a bit more suitable for its line. But then again, there's a lot of vehicles they would have to rework if they kept doing that for all of the different vehicles in the game. I mean, look at the tiered premium tank destroyer for the French. Like, why doesn't that have an autoloader? Like, that's a genuine question. Like, why doesn't it? It seems like it should have. So anyone who has had this vehicle from before the changes and has played after the changes, let me know what you think of the vehicle, because I'm curious to see what someone who has played before and after thinks of it as well, because I have experience in this tank and I kind of knew what it was going to play like because I played the Leopard line, but I don't have the most experience in it. I would be curious to know what someone with a bit more experience would think of this thing before and after.